We've still got the Christmas mug and the Christmas jumper and the Christmas rings. I didn't point these out last time. So it must be another Vlogmas video. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 4, my December TBR. I was forgetting a day there. So December is obviously the month where you are just tempted by all of the Christmas movies. You have lots of social engagements generally. I am going to be travelling back to the UK and seeing a lot of people there, staying with family, left, right and centre. So the end of the month, I'm not foreseeing an awful lot of reading time. So this is going to be very much a try and get as much reading done at the beginning of the month as possible, kind of a TBR. I have two December releases that I have on my Kindle to read. The first of those is The City of Second Chances by Jane Lacey Crane, and I'm actually on the blog tour for this one. My blog is always linked in the description below, so make sure you keep an eye out on Twitter, etc. for the links to that blog tour, for that review. And then that comes out in the UK on the 11th of December. And then the second Kindle read I have is Wildflower Park Part 1 by Bella Osborne. I read a Bella Osborne serialization at the start of 2018, so it seems right that I'm reading this at the end of 2018. So this is released in the UK on the 28th of December, and I think I'm on the blog tour for this one as well, but I will definitely be reviewing it since I reviewed her last series as well. So those are my two Kindle read December releases. As I said in my previous video, I'll link my Vlogmas playlist up here in case you missed that previous video. I have some specific headlines for some of the things that I want to read in December, just because I feel like December you're kind of trying to read the things that you haven't managed to read throughout the year, etc, etc. So I have a book that I finished. Let me have some more coffee. A book that I started, in November that I want to finish. I decided not to rush it because some of it is quite heavy going, and I didn't want to kind of rush and try and go, okay, it's done, I finished this now because it's November. So I want to finish reading Rage Becomes Her by Soraya Chemaly. Again, this is carrying on the non-fiction theme from November as well, and I am really enjoying this. I talked about this in my end of year book tag. It's been on my TBR for a little while, and I did start it and read a chunk of it in November, but I want to finish it off in December. Looking forward to doing that. Then you may remember I read Paper Girls Volume 2 and 3 in November, so I have Volume 4 to read in December, and Volume 5 is also coming out in December. So if my library gets that in time for me to read it in December, I will also be reading Volume 5 in December because it's there. So we've covered December releases, the one that I started in November, and the kind of last book or books in a series that I want to wrap up before the year finishes. Then I have two buddy reads, so they get their own category as well. I am rereading Fairy Tale of New York by Miranda Dickinson. I made an announcement about rereading this in my Vlogmas Day 1 video, and I'm reading this with my friend Hayley and the rest of the people on the internet who are reading a chapter a day during December. So I need to get a wriggle on and read chapter 1 already. I do have this on Kindle as well, so I may read the Kindle version rather than this version, which is my signed copy from Miranda. So this one I think will probably stay on my shelf and I will read the Kindle copy. Then with my friend Jenna, I am reading 9 Perfect Strangers by Liane Moriarty. I am a big fan of her writing and always have been. As you know, if you have watched my book versus TV show on Big Little Lies, which I will leave linked up here in case you haven't seen it, I did not like the TV show of, did I say 9 Little Lies? No, Big Little Lies. Did I say 9? Big Little Lies. I did not like it. I really loved the book, and yet I found the TV show so boring in comparison to the book. I have done all of her previous books on audiobook, so this will be the first one that I'm attempting to read the actual book of. And it's quite chunky. I know the audiobooks are quite long, but yeah, it's 450 pages, so it is quite a chunky one. But where you've got a chapter heading, you've got some short chapters. I love the fact that she has short chapters in her audiobooks as well. So I'm really excited to read it. The people that I've known that have read it have really enjoyed it, and I like the fact that I'm doing it as a buddy read as well. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. So that's my 2 buddy reads. Then I have a token festive book. And I'm reading this one because I bought it at the beginning of the year, specifically for reading at Christmas time this year. And I've ended up reading a load of other festive books in like September and October. Don't think I read any in November. Don't think I finished any in November. I think I did them all in September and October. So having a festive read in December should be quite nice. Additionally, this is a middle grade read, and we've got some quite nice big font here. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen me take a picture of this one. It is the Christmasaurus musical edition by Tom Fletcher, and it has a soundtrack that goes with it. Also, I'll show you the end papers again because they're awesome. So hopefully I will have a video to share with you on my kind of reaction to the songs that go with the chapters. This was a musical that was done on stage last year, and he wrote the book the previous year. So I'm very much behind when it comes to this, but it's been sat on my shelf for a year nearly, so I would really like to read it. So that is my token festive read for December. You're thinking, but Katrina, you just said you're going to have a really busy month and not going to be able to read much. Why are you still going with books? Well, I also want to reread Dumpling by Julie Murphy because the movie of this one comes out on Friday. This is going up on Tuesday, so there's still time for you to do a reread before watching the movie. It comes out on Netflix on Friday. I have a trailer reaction that I did, which I will leave up here in case you didn't manage to catch that one. I am re-listening to this on audiobook. I thought about doing it in November, but I decided not to, so it's going to be probably the first thing that I finish in December because I want to watch the movie, and then you can look forward to a book versus movie video coming on Saturday if I watch the movie on Friday, which, let's face it, I'm going to clear my schedule so I can. Then another one left over from my November TBR because I felt like I was close to getting the audiobook of this, and I listened to this author's previous book on audiobook. I still don't have the audiobook, but I'm still holding out hope. I feel like I've moved up the queue, and I thought the queue would move quite quickly. If not, maybe I'll return it and leave it for next year. If it doesn't look like I'm moving up the queue for the audiobook, we'll see. But it is Odd One Out by Nick Stone, and I'm very excited to read this one because, again, it was sort of quite quiet that this one was coming out. I think there was ARCs available at BookCon, and then I haven't kind of heard anything else since then, so that's on the TBR still. And then I have 3 books that were sent to me by lovely, lovely friends that I would like to read because they were excited and really thought that I would like these books. And so I feel like I ought to be excited about reading them as well, which I really am. And hopefully December is the right place to put them in my TBR. So we have Unclaimed Baggage by Jen Doll, which was sent to me by lovely Bethany over at Beautifully Bookish Bethany. We've done a couple of buddy reads, so I know that she knows my reading taste, so hopefully going to enjoy this one. And then Jenna, who, again, we've done some buddy reads, so we know kind of what we like and don't like in a book. Did a buddy read with her last month, and I've got a buddy read with her coming up this month. So she sent me The 7 Torments of Amy and Craig, a love story by Don Zoldis, and this is set in 1994, so that should be a fun one. I am enjoying books that are set in the near history. You wouldn't call it historical fiction, maybe some people would, but yeah, I've been enjoying books set in that way. And then she also sent me Words We Don't Say, which as soon as she started reading this one, she sent me a picture and said, you would love this book, Katrina. So yeah, that's by KJ Riley, and these are all already out as well. Then I did mention that I was going to be traveling back to the UK. Sometimes I don't sleep on flights, sometimes I do. We're just getting a direct flight this time, so there's not going to be any hanging around in airports, aka prime reading time, but there's just going to be a straight 9-hour flight. So it might be more likely that I sleep and less likely that I get annoyed with people and just end up watching films, but I may have reading time. And so I have at the moment some 2019 releases on my Kindle. I won't be taking any books with me to the UK because, let's face it, my suitcase is going to be full of Christmas presents. Even though I was super organised and did have most of the Christmas presents sorted when I went back in September, there are still some. I have still bought some stuff. And then you have the things that people are like, oh, can you just bring me over that? Or can you just bring me over that? So generally my bag is sort of 70% stuff for other people when I go over, and when I come back is 70% books I bought whilst in the UK. So I'm just taking my Kindle, but I have some 2019 releases that I may start during that time because I will only have my Kindle with me. So I have Louis and Louise, or Louise and Louise, I'm not sure how I pronounce it, by Julie Cohen, which is coming out in January 23rd in the UK. Anyone I know that has read an advanced copy of this has been shouting about it. You know I love a Julie Cohen novel anyway, so I am just super excited to start that one, and because it comes out in January, starting it in December makes a lot of sense as well, right? Then I do also have the new Sophie Kinsella novel on my Kindle. I don't know how I have managed to restrain myself and not read it until now. Probably because I had a whole load of other stuff that I didn't get to on my TBR. That's probably the only reason. So this one comes out in February. I believe it's out in February in both the UK and the US, but maybe the difference is the 5th and the 7th of February, or a week's difference. That's what it's generally been. Did I say it was called I Owe You One? I haven't even read the blurb. It's just a Sophie Kinsella novel that I know I will love. So that might be something to read on a plane. Then a couple of March releases. We have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Again, I know people who have already read this one and they've been absolutely shouting about it. A lot of the bookstagrammers that I follow have been sent copies of this one and have read it already and say that I need to read it now, so maybe that's one that I'll read. And then we have Sleep by C.L. Taylor. I have read 2 of her previous novels on longer plane journeys because they are so gripping and so captivating and page turning that I find if I have that longer time, that longer period of time, plane journey to read, it is a good idea. And again, I have a friend who has started this one, and I mean, I love C.L. Taylor anyway, so I know I will love this book, but yeah, I'm kind of itching to get to all of those, and so having up until the 18th of December as kind of my cut-off point for all of these, and then from the 18th of December onwards to begin some of the 2019 releases, I think I've kind of structured my TBR quite well. I think it's a bit of a crazy TBR, and I don't know why I've done it to myself, because we are at the end of December the 1st now and I haven't started any of these yet, apart from Rage Becomes Her, which I started a little while ago in November. So wish me luck. Do let me know in the comments if you are planning on reading any of these, if you are joining in with the reread of Fairy Tale of New York, or if you think I should, you know, kick off with a festive read rather than a non-fiction. And do let me know if you are planning on watching Dumpling on Friday as well. I will be on social media kind of tweeting away that I'm about to watch it and going to watch it. And probably, yeah, the audiobook I will start tonight before going to bed because I have some reading time. So that's all good. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed so that my next video lands in your subscription feed. It will be tomorrow, and will be a book haul, just in case you were, considering. And if, you're the only one that's made it this far, there's a little extra something for you. Tomorrow will be a book haul. Okay, I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Day, whatever it is. Apparently I can't count and we're only at the beginning of the month. There's no hope for the end of the month. Thank you for watching.